So why is it you think that Robert Whittaker is not going to get knocked out by Israel Adesanya?
Well, one of the things that I believe is important as you reach into the higher echelons of MMA is the ability to blend together and to pressure your opponent and to make them fight where they're the least comfortable. And one of the things that I think Robert Whittaker does well is that he is able to mix it up with the best of them. I think that he's learned to utilize his wrestling well, and he's got adequate striking in the fact that when mixed together, he becomes a dangerous fighter.
Who has this man been wrestling? I gotta interrupt. Who's he been wrestling?
Whoa.
I know he theoretically wrestles.
I'm talking about his ability to pressure and use takedown. Okay, so my bad. He spent the last 2 years fighting the huskiest wrestler in the universe, so he's not going to try and take him down.
Wow, so he only has 2 fights in 2 years?
Yawn.
If anything, I would have expected this to be opposite, but I've been calling for Israel Adesanya to win this fight since I wrote my 5 MMA fights we need for 2019 article at the beginning of this year. I just think Adesanya is a stylistic nightmare. He doesn't have the savagery or the explosiveness of Yoel Romero, but he has the distance management, the setups, and the versatility that I don't think Robert Whittaker has the skill level to deal with. But I think that Whittaker runs into some of the same problems he ran into against Stephen Thompson, which is a guy facing a guy who has super adept striking, that has trained it outside of mixed martial arts, has honed those skills to such a nuanced level that he's going to be able to exploit things that Robert Whittaker doesn't even know he has to exploit. But I think skill-wise, when it comes down to them, neither of these guys are going to be flustered or intimidated. 0% chance. I think that Robert Whittaker is hittable. I think that he does not have the same tools to close the distance that Kelvin Gastelum had. And I think that he gets caught with those pinpoint short left hands, those straight left hands, no load up, that just touch your chin and take your knees. And I think it's going to set up a nasty head kick that leaves him staring at the top of the pavilion.
I don't know. I see Bobby putting in heavy work into Israel's body, putting pressure on him.
Body shots.
Making Israel really start breathing heavy and making those arms feel a lot heavier than they are, filled with blood. And it's always easy to be dynamic early on in the fight, but what really sets you apart is your ability to perform in the later rounds.
Yeah, that's the one thing I really disagree with, is that Robert Whittaker is going to be somebody that heavily utilizes grappling in this fight. It's just never been a thing that he's done against any of his opponents. Ever.
That's because he's fought heavy wrestler bulls. Look, you're okay, so we're not going to go back to 2015. His last 4 fights were against the best wrestler.
Wrestle Jacare.
Who wrestles Jacare?
He has never once in his career shown this. So if he does it in this fight, it's like a new wrinkle to his game that you're predicting. It's a prediction that he's going to show a skill set that he hasn't shown. I'm not comfortable betting on that going into a fight, that somebody's going to do something that I'm not familiar with. Sometimes that happens, and like, for example, with in the Stipe DC rematch, I did not anticipate Stipe being able to take the shots that he was not able to take in the first fight. That's something he brought that was different.
But I couldn't adapt, and
they're both champions.
No, let's not get it twisted. He beat
Who's got the new belt?
He beat a welterweight reject named Corbin Gaslang. Like, no one cared.
Well, the way you're going to be able to write your way out of that is he's not going to have a belt anymore, so he won't be a champion, so he clearly didn't find a way to win.
It's okay. You think Corbin Gaslang is the most important win in the universe. It's all right.
The Ringworm Bull has no bearing on my judgment of this fight. I think stylistically, Israel Adesanya is a nightmare for Robert Whittaker. And that's what Robert Whittaker is debatably my favorite fighter in the UFC. I've got to take my fan hat off and put on my analyst cap, because that's what this comes down to, is a stylistic discrepancy.
It's Robert Whittaker. He's fought a diverse set of fighters. Robert Whittaker should be the favorite going in, I think, and I expect him to do what champions do and find a way to win.
That's fair. Well, I think that we should shake on camera to confirm that this is, in fact, a winner's circle bet. Bang.
Bang. We're going to see come fight night, and I'm excited for this fight. So.
Me too. No, I'm super pumped for this fight. And this card is... Wait, not this card. That's the next one. Anyways, so we've made our winner's circle bet. Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. Please don't pull out. No more vacations, Robert.
Yeah, show up.
And, keep your hernias all on point, alright?